guys are enjoying this. We're enjoying this.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy getting poured in from other couples. Some of these couples were hesitant. They don't really do a lot of in-person things or be on the forefront, but we were really led to pick the couples we chose, and I really feel like they have been a blessing. So, and yeah, somebody asked, was it being recorded? Yes, it is.
It has been recorded. Actually, once this is done, this is going to go on our YouTube. So I will have all that information below later today. It'll be pinned to the comment section.
Oh, you gave yourself a time frame. I heard it. I didn't do it doing today.
I'll say later today.
So next we are going to bring on the co-claws.
Yes.
And our panelists, look, they knew what times they were coming on, but they wanted to even be poured into too. So they've been here the whole time just enjoying all of
fantastic.
it. So yes, so we're gonna bring on the co-claws, and Charles has the introduction.
Yes. All right. So we have the fantastic Kelvin and wonderful Tara co-claw. See that? I did that.
Here you go.
They have been married for 6 years this year. Kelvin has a bachelor's in engineering and a master's in rehabilitation counseling and works for the state of North Carolina. Tara is a licensed insurance agent and works in guest hospitality relations for Marriott. They have 4 beautiful children, deacon and deaconess for the Genesis Church, TGC. We are believers and our family has, they say we are believers and our family has a strong faith, spiritual base. We absolutely love God and make no apologies about it.
Amen.
So we have Tara and Kelvin Colclough. Guys, and thank y'all so much for coming on today.
You gonna tell what they're gonna talk about? They are talking about they are talking about recovering.
Oh yeah.
After the crisis.
Yes. After the crisis.
Because guess what? You went through this financial crisis, you might have went through some communication crisis, whatever the crisis may be. COVID-19 is a whole crisis in itself. And so they are gonna come in their own way and talk to us about sorry y'all, we was looking at a question. And talk to us about recovering after the crisis. So we're going to turn it over, and then we'll come back later and get some questions. But you all have the floor. Thank you.
Before you guys take it, I do have an anonymous question that we are going to answer when everybody comes back. So whoever wrote the anonymous question, we will answer that. Just want to make sure you guys are aware. Okay? All right. Take it away, guys.
Good evening. I want to begin by thanking Deacon and Deaconess Hampton for this opportunity to participate in this much needed seminar. I also want to thank the Jenkins couple and also the Davis couple for that much needed information on mental health and finances. I have a notebook pad full of stuff, so I'm definitely going to glean from that. Again, Deacon Hampton said that we're here to deal with coping after the unexpected. And then to prepare for this, me and my wife came upon a quote by Tootie Rose that said, "You can't really prepare for the unexpected, but you can pull together and tackle it together." And that is what we have been doing for the last 6 years of marriage. We have been through a lot. We have grown through a lot. And today we just want to share some things with you to help you married couples and even people that's viewing that want to be married on how to get through some crisis. My wife will now proceed with a few things that we jotted down to know that we wanted to share.
Okay, great. Well, I'm one of the people Deaconess Hampton was talking about. Very reluctant. Although I guess I am a talker. I don't know. I have an issue with this online Zoom thing. So nerve-wracking. However, like my husband said, we were talking about coping with the unexpected. Mm-hmm. So we did our little research, and of course, with our own lives, came up with a few points that we hope will help people out when it comes to the unexpected. Funny story, for us, one of the unexpected things that happened in the beginning of our marriage, some may say it wasn't a bad thing, but it happened. My husband, we moved from South Carolina to North Carolina in 2014. Yeah. And he, at the time I was expecting, so I moved here and at the time not working. So, his mind was, I'm taking care of my family and everything is good. And we appreciate that. We really do. However, I can remember he got paid and he paid everything.
Yeah.
And I saw the money and then I didn't see the money. So it was very unexpected. And I was just like, well, you paid all the bills, but what are we going to eat? So at that time, it was very I was like, oh, wow. So I don't believe I was emotional at the time, but I just was like, Lord, how are we going to make it?
Yeah.
So one of the first points that we came up with, and keep in mind, we're not marriage counselors or anything.
Definitely.
We just want to bless somebody, and hopefully that what we talk about will help. We just came up with a few points, and we'll go from there. So one of the things we came up with was letting it out. Keeping your thoughts and emotions to yourself when something happens makes it harder for you and your spouse to manage. So keeping it all in, which he is more of a thinker.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I have to
internalize everything.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to guess what he's thinking. Like if he's upset about something or at that time, it's just getting it out, letting it out. Like, telling me what you really feel. Like,
and I think for me growing up, we have, as men, we grow up, you fall off your bike, your family tell you to get up, stop crying, men don't cry. So when you keep that mentality into your later years of life as a man, you become that individual that's not emotional. But that don't work in marriage. I'm going to let you know that don't work in marriage. As a man, we need to let those things out. Our spouses, women, they want us to talk back to them whenever they ask for a question. And as men, we internalize things, and sometimes that might not be the best point. We will come back later on with a solution, but in that moment, our spouses want us to, share on what we're feeling and what we're thinking. Because if you don't do that as a man, then you leave your spouse with guessing how you feel and leave them to their own thoughts.
And I believe it's okay to process it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is to take time to process, but sooner than later. Sooner than later. Let me know how you're feeling. So on and so forth. So practicing empathy, ability to understand and share the feelings of another, especially with something unexpected. And some examples of unexpected could be like infidelity.
Yeah, living with the spouse that say may have gotten a car accident and now they're maybe disabled, and you may have to live with that spouse and care for that spouse and things that maybe you would not have thought you would have to do. Also with the COVID-19, losing your job unexpectedly. Who's the thing that we'll be in 2020 and you have a job and things are going great and bam, here's come COVID-19. And now your job lay you off, and now you go from a household of 2 individuals working to now just 1. What does that look like? And now how will you get through that?
It looks crazy to me because I'm not the sit-at-home person. Mm-hmm. So for me to lose my job, my job is to put on hold until almost immediately when it was announced, because I work in the hotel business. It was like, oh, who, me? I have to stay home. Mm-hmm. So, So, and that was a hit for the household. It was unexpected. And then I caught myself starting to act out. When acting out, upon realizing that I'm having to be home with the children. So I'm home all day with the kids, and I got to get into a routine, and I have to do school and all of this. So and a lot of times I had to learn how to apologize to him because, and for me, I mean, I don't like, do I think I'm always right? Probably. I had to learn how to apologize when just because it was unexpected didn't give me the right to just act out, because foolish pride is a mess. Mm-hmm. Foolish pride is a mess. So just having I had to humble myself and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I know I'm acting this way because I need to get out the house. 4 walls is coming in on me. So losing the job was unexpected for me. Yeah. So I had to learn how to, work on my own self, work through the stuff in myself that i.e. what that means going back to school. Don't blame it on him because there's something that's happened. It's not his fault. Mm-hmm. And even if it had been something that's his fault, still learning how to, don't let your pride get in the way. If you have to apologize about something, practicing empathy, and of course learning, turning to other couples that you trust. Definitely. As far as if it's something unexpected, you may not, go to family to talk about things, but go to somebody you trust. For us, it's our parents. Yeah. Although, because, when you got to be careful too with family, especially depending on what the situation is. And of course, our leadership, shouts out to the Genesis Church, our leaders, Pastor Johnny Brown and Lady Rachel Brown, definitely wise counsel as far as going through unexpected things.
And I would definitely like to chime in on that. Also, before you go to another couple, you have to discern that couple actually love each other. Because you can go to a couple that, because they are married and you want advice, but they might not like each other. So I may talk to the man and he say, you know what, I won't deal with that. I don't feel like you. So you have to discern that couple actually love each other when you're trying to choose the couple to go to. And to just back up a little bit, when my wife was talking about empathy, for her, I had to have empathy to know that before my wife went back to work, she stayed home for almost 2.5 years watching the kids. So now that she has this routine, she has her own job and she's making her money for something like COVID-19 to come, I had to empathize and have empathy with her when it came to her sometimes lashing out, because it's like what I had now when I was building has now been cut from up under my feet. So I really don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to deal with the unexpected. So how can, my feelings show how I feel? So I had to have empathy with her as it relates to that.
Yeah, because trouble, sometimes unexpected things will show you who you really are. Trouble is either going to build you or break you. Yeah. So sometimes when things happen, like I said, you have to work with your own self. Like, what? Okay, now, is it something in me that may be broken? Maybe I'm blaming, it's unexpected. Yes, we got to deal with it. Okay, but am I acting out because of something that your spouse has done? Or is this something really within you? Really? And stop trying to be right about everything all the time. Yeah. When we have conversation about the unexpected situation, why you always got to be right? Why we can't just listen? Let's work through it. We together. We have decided that we're going to stay together. Yeah. We're going to be together. So let's work through it and stop holding grudges.
And just to also add, do not use past unexpected things as ammunition for future stuff. Yeah. It's almost like you putting this in your back pocket, that when we have an argument in the future, then I'm gonna start pulling out stuff that happened in the past, because it's very hard to move forward in marriage by looking back. So we have to learn how to let those things go. And if we truly say that we forgive and that we're gonna work through things, we really gotta mean that, folks.
Definitely gotta mean it, and addressing the real problem. Yeah. Because a lot of times I think we find situations where we feel like it's an unexpected issue, but it's really something underlying that we just keep overlooking and keep building on it and keep building on it. Then eventually it becomes something huge, and it's like it's not really that unexpected. It was always there. Yeah. So we just scraping the scab off it, but we're not letting it heal. Like it really, we just scraping and keep going, and it's not really healing. So if it's unexpected, you definitely need to go ahead and face it. Let's deal with it. Let's find out what it really is. Give this thing a definition, so that we can work through it. We know, and of course, we are spiritual people. We believe in God. Prayer. You definitely got to have prayer. Prayer has to be the number one thing for us if we're going to deal with anything unexpected. And you have to have faith. And of course, love. 1 Corinthians 13:13. It talks about the greatest is love. Yes. The greatest is love. Mm-hmm. Well, it's charity, and of course that's love. and now about it, faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity. So I hope that this has helped somebody. It has definitely helped us. Let it out. Apologize, practice empathy, turn into a couple you trust, work through it. Stop trying to always be right. Stop holding grudges and have love and love one another. I think we're done.
All right, stay. Don't go nowhere yet.
So y'all did a good job. And I wanted to say about, especially when dealing with the unexpected, you know, we went through a situation maybe like 2 years ago where I lost my job and I lost my car. That thing hurt me to my soul. But go through cry. Man, listen, you knew I was almost about to cry. I was about to cry thinking about it.
I was there for you, brother. I was there for you.
So, like, when you go through crises and times of unexpected turmoil, these things really come to test your mettle. You can train all you can when you're in the gym, but when it's time to fight, how much fight do you actually have in you? So, I mean, but for the grace of God, like, we made it through that situation, and we're doing way much better now, and I'm gonna buy that car back one day. Everybody believe me.
A better one.
A better one.
But the thing is, like she said, being people of faith and being people of knowing where your help comes from. No, a lot of people didn't even know. We would still have people that might have been trying to borrow money and different things, not knowing we was probably robbing Peter to pay Paul and everything else.
But trust and believe, it was covered.
But that's a lot, because as a wife, you know, you're looking like, oh my God, you know, your husband might be supposed to protect you. Then that goes back to how our last week was talking about trust, because then you might be like, you know, I don't know if I can trust this. And then I think that's where tithing and certain things come into play. Because guess what? We're not trusting the individual, but we're putting our trust in God. So when we put our trust in God, we know he got our back regardless. So maybe one of our spouses, like, right now we're exposed at our job, we have to be off for 2 weeks with no pay. So, you know, these are things that you have to look at. So, and y'all said some powerful things. I love prayer, faith, and love. Them things right there will get you through.
It get you through every time.
Period. I don't care.
And sometimes people think prayer means you got to get on your knees and you have to be talking a lot. Sometimes I just have to lay there before God and say, listen, you have to help me. I don't have a word to say. I'm very angry. So you have to help me. You have to help me right now. So that's amazing. It was so funny when she said our pastor, Deacon, and this one both said whoop whoop at the same time. We was like, ooh. So yes, we are a very strong a church family. So that's amazing, and they'll probably touch on that under Seeking Wise Counsel. But even with getting through, lean on those, like you said, that you could trust, that you discern to be what you need to be, because sometimes you need to get it out. Deaconess Coco, she's a good one with pulling my coattail, because I don't like to get anything out. So sometimes you need to get things out, because you can't keep them in, because then it goes back to the beginning, which is mental health. If your mental health isn't right, nothing else is going to go right. I know when I feel like I'm everywhere, I could be working a whole day and I don't feel like I got nothing accomplished because I wasn't focused. And so sometimes, as y'all, go ahead.
To elaborate, one thing that sticks with me over these years, these 6 years, is something that my former pastor said. He said, when it comes to crisis, you have to trace it, face it, and erase it.
Okay. I like it.
Because a lot of times, you have things that emotions you're acting out, and your spouse is like, where all this coming from? And they don't know, as a 12-year-old or a 7-year-old, something happened, but now you're 34 years old or you're 40-something years old and you're acting out, and it's like, I don't know how to deal with this crisis. I don't know how to deal with this unexpected. Where's all this coming from? So you have to sometimes sit down and you have to trace it. Like, why do I act like this? Why am I very combative? And then once you trace it and figure out where it came from, you have to face it. And once you face it, then you have to say, okay, I'm gonna erase this thing. I'm not gonna keep moving forward and try to hold on to that 13-year-old little child.
Oh
man, that's powerful right there.
That's amazing. And I'm about to let y'all go. And the last thing I'm about to say is, the last thing is just even with dealing with crisis, we always say, like you said, it's funny you said Tracy, because what I have is think about why you started what you started, why you started that marriage. Go back to the beginning, and sometimes you might have to sit back and go back to your dating phase and think about why you actually started. So we appreciate you guys. I know you had a couple of things going on with Deaconess, but I don't know if y'all still be at the end, but we'll bring y'all back. But we almost done it, right? Thank you guys. You guys were amazing. Y'all even had some great comments coming through, and some people say y'all helped them amazingly.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Bye. You guys, thank you guys for hanging. We know some people have been popping off and popping in.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We know sitting down for a couple hours is a lot, but this is very, and it's a lot for me because y'all know I think I got ADD. I'll be bouncing all around. But
so again, but even though people have been leaving and coming back, and I haven't watching it work, that's fine. Again, it is going to be on our YouTube channel later, so make sure you follow the Marriage to Third Ring on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type it in.
And we're at our last couple. And then we will get that anonymous question answered. Is there any more y'all can send them through? The way it came through anonymously, like we really don't even know who it is. They actually just put it in as an anonymous one. So yeah. So if you want to, that is more than working. That's more than good to just send them in if y'all don't want to ask them.